Hello, my students. I hope that you're all doing well. It's Mr. Cooper here. Gosh, I sure do wish that we got to see each other in person. But it will happen. It'll happen. It'll take some time, but it'll happen. It is very strange for me to be teaching music classes when I'm the only person in the room. That's never happened before. But I'm sure you're going through lots of things where you're saying to yourself, yeah, this is pretty strange. Well, we'll get through it. We will get through it. Hey, so I was given the go-ahead. I can finally start posting some music lessons online. But we'll keep these fun. We'll keep these light. They'll be pretty short. And with that in mind, let's jump straight into it. I want to show you an instrument that I was given that is kind of a halfway point between this and this. These are pretty similar. You remember? Obviously, you remember that this is a recorder. This is a clarinet. And a clarinet, remember, for an instrument to make sound, it has to make the air shake somehow. So on a recorder, it's the whistle that splits the stream of air, kind of like if you had a hose and you're shooting water out of the hose. And if you took your hand like a knife blade and stuck your hand in the stream of water, some of it will go on either side. Well, when you do that with air, it starts to shake back and forth. You get some of it going on this side, and then some of it going on that side, some of it going on this side, and it splits back and forth really, really quickly. It splits the airstream, just like when you whistle here. It's the same idea. You're making the air very turbulent. It's bouncing all around. Well, look, on your recorder, you're changing pitch by how long you're keeping the sound in the recorder for. You know that. Now, on a clarinet, it's the same idea. The longer you keep the sound in, the lower it will be in pitch, but we've got a totally different way of shaking the air. This here is called a reed, and it's just as thin as a piece of paper at the end of it. Here, if I take it off and show you, look at that, super thin. And it is made of bamboo. Bamboo is pretty rubbery if it's wet, but it's pretty brittle if it's dry. So whenever you see somebody getting ready to play a reed instrument, they always get the reed wet first. Otherwise, it won't shake properly. But this probably will now. Okay, so I did get a pretty good squeak there, which is an indicator that the reed isn't quite ready to be played yet. It needs have a little bit more moisture in it. That seems a little bit better now. Now, so take a look at this. My folks spent a couple of months in India this winter. They were home long before the COVID-19 thing came out, but they brought me home this instrument, which is called, and I'm not quite sure how to pronounce this actually, Bansuri, or Bansuri, or Bansuri, something like that. It's Bansuri. And if you look closely at the mouthpiece here, it has a reed almost exactly the same as this clarinet reed. And anyway, I gave it a try, and I make it sound more like a dying animal than like a wind instrument at this point, but have a listen. There we go. Okay, and then there's this upper register which sounds even worse. So I don't know what to do. I don't know how to make this thing sound good. So I do have a little bit of a COVID-19 project then. I'll spend a little bit of time trying to learn if I can play this Bansuri. And it is also made of bamboo, and it's just a hollow pipe with some holes cut in the side. It is really, in lots of ways, very, very similar to the recorder. So anyway, yeah, just an interesting, another wind instrument from the woodwind family, and it gets called the woodwind family because it's a piece of wood that makes the air shake. And sometimes they call it the woodwind family if the instrument used to be made out of wood, like your recorder. These plastic ones are really quite recent. They've only been making recorders out of plastic for about the last 40 or 50 years, which might sound like a long time to you, but the recorder is 400 or 500 years old. So they just started making them out of plastic. So this still counts as a woodwind instrument because a lot of them, the best ones are made of wood, really. But I thought that it would be a little bit too expensive. One recorder made of wood, the cheapest ones start at about $70. I mean, but you can pay thousands of dollars for one recorder. Depends on the wood it's made out of, depends who made it, this kind of thing. So, folks, I've put a link on the classroom that is just a short lesson on musical instrument families. We're gonna jump back in with some light stuff, and but click on some of the links because there's some really interesting recordings there. Okay, take care. I hope that you have a good week, and don't forget to be helpful around the house. Help tidy up. Help look after younger kids. Help do the dishes. Help set the table. I know that you would be. I know that you would be. Anything that you could do to be helpful is great. And don't forget, Mother's Day is coming up. Don't forget Mother's Day. Okay, take care, you guys. All the best.